Good afternoon. Welcome to Beer Bellies. I'm Nate.
And I'm Ronnie.
It's a beautiful day. Good time to drink some beer.
Whoa.
Hot pipes.
Yeah. What do we...
All right, so let's talk about it. Today we've got 3 different varieties of Sculpin. So we've got the Aloha Sculpin, which is a hazy IPA. We've got the Sculpin Habanero, and we've got Sculpin Grapefruit. So I think I'm gonna start with the Aloha. This is the hazy version of Sculpin. Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells bright,
Yeah.
hoppy. It definitely still has that strong Sculpin hop forward flavor to it. It's not super sweet for a hazy. It's still pretty strong bitterness, pretty strong hoppiness for a hazy.
I think the sweetness comes through a little more on the back end of it.
I respect it because this is still sticking true to that Sculpin flavor.
Sure.
It's not covering it up with the haze and trying to kind of downplay how strong of a hop flavor that is.
Okay.
This is still true to being Sculpin. I'm ready to move on to the Habanero.
Cool.
Honestly, I haven't tried this. I've never had it. The first thing I do want to say about it is that this beer is significantly darker in color compared to the other ones.
I'm also seeing maybe more carbonation, or maybe that's just more sediment floating up with the carbonation.
It's definitely got something going bottom to top there. Oh, that's hot.
Oh my gosh.
That is really hot. There's no way I'm finishing this beer.
Dude.
I thought it would have a smoky pepper flavor.
Right.
This is
actually spicy. It's a beer salsa.
It smells hot, yeah. Beer salsa indeed. So this hits immediately. As soon as you sip on it, you get the heat, and then it also coats your throat and burns the back of your throat on the way down as well. Here at Beer Bellies, we're human. We make mistakes too.
Yeah.
We certainly should have saved the Habanero for last. We can't taste either of these beers properly, so we're gonna try to cleanse the palate here with a little chocolate, see if we can get back on the right track here.
Let's do it.
I think more like I need a glass of milk.
We'll come back to this in an hour and a half.
Getting back into the grapefruit here. Smells hoppy, somewhat bright, kind of a clean IPA. Much like Aloha, this is still a very hop-forward beer. So it is a little more tart. It's got a little more of that grapefruit flavor to it, but the beer was already so bitter that I don't think the grapefruit is bringing that much out on it.
Yeah, the backbone of these two beers are very similar, whereas this one's just maybe a hint sweeter.
So the math is pretty easy when we talk about price and ABV for these guys. The ABV on each of them is 7%. So across the board, you're getting the same thing, which I would put probably a little bit above sessionable. And as far as price goes, again, it's very easy math. They all cost $13 for a 6-pack, which brings them to 18 cents an ounce. So it's a little steep, but if you are a fan of traditional Sculpin, these can be somewhat difficult to find. So if you do see them, grab at least a 6-pack of each one. Do you feel that these beers have that hollow flavor that you've been talking to me about recently?
It still feels like it should based on how it advertises.
Yeah.
And I wish I could find a better word that, a word that could kind of articulate what I'm trying to explain better, because I know what I mean by hollow, but I'm not sure that anybody else does.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I understand what you mean. As much as I seek out like a stout, I want this massive flavor. To me, these beers fit that bill just for hoppy beers as opposed to malty beers.
Right. And it's advertised, our award-winning IPA with a paradise vibe, right? And that's exactly what it is. It's that Sculpin taste that you expect, that hop-forward taste with, a twist of that sweetness for the Aloha.
Yeah, and then more than a twist of the heat on the Habanero.
Yeah, that one, for me, I'm just going to say it's too much. Not only do I not plan on finishing this, I don't even plan on finishing this. I'm not sure I even plan on touching this again, to be honest.
I think these super hoppy beers probably pair with a lot of different foods pretty well, just because it brings its own flavor. And now, as for the Habanero, what does that pair with? I mean, sadomasochism, I'm not sure. Like, it's rough.
I tend to go for some pretty hot salsas and love when my face is melting while eating spicy foods. But I just don't expect that, nor do I want that in my beer.
It's a niche thing.
The only way I'm drinking this, right, is if I lose a bet.
3 quick points on these beers. The grapefruit and the Aloha, they stick to the Sculpin tradition. The Habanero is so spicy that I can't tell if it's sticking to the Sculpin tradition. And including the Habanero, I give props to Ballast Point for staying true to the idea of being bold with their flavors.
The Aloha is definitely a little bit on the sweeter side as far as what they're adding on top of that traditional Sculpin flavor. We've got more of a, you know, a little bit bitter grapefruit type flavor here. For me, unless you like your beer tasting like actual peppers in every sense of the word, don't do it. Don't try it, because it is spicy. It puts your lips on fire, it puts your throat on fire.
I want to thank you for watching this episode of Beer Bellies. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave any requested reviews in the comments. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's just hot, man.
I'm not convinced this is actually a beer.
We're just slugging salsa.